All right, guys.
Alright, Emin here is going to supply you guys with your identity for the day. Just keep it flat on the desk. Don't look at the bag. You don't have to do anything with it right now. First, we're going to show you a video of somebody you guys have all probably heard about. Alright, I'm sure you guys have all heard about Anne Frank, but what we did was we supplied you with a couple of Jews during the Holocaust and World War II that obviously you guys haven't heard about, and you guys, everyone knows the story about how Anne Frank had to survive and what circumstances she lived through. So I want you guys to take in context this question through the whole activity, but at this time I want you guys to pair up and talk to each other about your guys' identity and what that person did before the war and up to 1939. Just talk amongst yourself about your people. And raise your hand when you're done so we know when you guys are finished with talking.
Yeah, just the first two paragraphs.
The Lithuanian were approached and they were ordered to go into the forest, dig trenches for down.
My cousin, his name is Moich, and he's Jewish also. They own a grain business, and he went to a Jewish school in 1933. He was about to start.
Hey guys, make sure you guys keep your identities flat on the table so you don't see the back
Outside the door, so they were trapping out.
And following year, after
You guys already?
It looks like the majority of you are finishing up, so we're going to go ahead and get ready for the next part. In a moment, I'm going to have you read what they were trying to do to survive during the war, the 1940-44 portion. And in that, I want you to also remember what they were running from. This is from World War II. My grandfather brought this back, and until I was asked last week why he brought it back, I had no idea. So I contacted my grandmother, and inspired by this lesson, I asked her what was the story behind this, and she had told me that he went to a camp that was liberated shortly after it was liberated, and to help take care of some of the prisoners. And he helped take care of them, and then they were going to load them up to get them to other destinations at that point. One of the prisoners grabbed this off the ground, gave it to him, and said 3 words: "Do not forget." And so I want you to not forget about these people that are before you. So go ahead and read what it is that they did, and the ways they are trying to survive during World War II, and the 1940 to 44 version to the person across from you.
Sorry, that's yeah.
Don't flip it over yet.
So,
Even though some of you.
policy was returned to their supplies were stranded on the border by uniform closed. German forces occupied Tuchin, and the Jews were massacred, the family built bunkers waiting for protection from the Jews.
Actually, haven't told
They knew that because the Germans and Ukrainians were digging were into the border. On September 24th, 1942, police went to Gaya. People set fires everywhere, and the chaos all out ran to the
Mine, Jude was already in jail for many days, and then got released from prison. And was under surveillance, and it was talking to him after his stranded with him, and got arrested and got sent to concentration, which he then ran away from.
So he was a
He was gay. He was gay.
Oh. He's saying Jewish Holocaust.
Yeah.
Now, at this moment, you guys can flip over your card and read what happened to your identity in the back. Now that you know, can I have the people that survived get up out of their seats and walk to this side of the room over by Mr. Cox? And those who passed, from this side.
What's on the other?
They didn't know how I died. They just found my body.
Out of all the European Jews that were in the Holocaust, about 33% of the adults survived. Only about 6 to 11% of the children survived. It's pretty terrifying numbers, as you can see. Does anybody want to volunteer to read 1 or 2 of their identities and what happened to them?
My person's name was Bertha, and she was born in Czechoslovakia. Her family was discovered by the Gestapo at 5 a.m. in 1944, and she was gassed 2 days later after she got deported to Auschwitz.
How about somebody that survived?
So my kid, Joseph, was like 9 years old when the Germans invaded. His father got deported from France in 1941, and then he and his sisters were hiding out. He was hiding at a farm. His sisters were in a town nearby. His sisters got discovered and arrested. Joseph managed to survive through the war and then immigrated to the U.S. in 49.
How many of you ended up immigrating to the U.S.? 2?
Did any of you find your family members, or did it say that? Didn't it say?
I'm the sole survivor of the family.
Only that happens. Most times, you know that?
And the most important thing we want to take away from this is how would you feel if it was you and your family going through these types of events, and that's just the kind of things that we want. If you want to spend the last minute that we have in our lesson talking to somebody close to you about this question up here, feel free to go ahead and do that now.
And then even though we are a few generations removed from this incident, just make sure that we never forget that was what the Holocaust was all about.
for participating in our lesson.
Huge.